This is Natalie, and I'm your Sunday co-host for Witches of the Moon. I want to take a moment and first apologize to my fellow co-hosts and to you, our viewers, that this video is so very late in going up. I was going to try to have it up by midnight yesterday, but we lost one of our 5 dogs over the weekend, and I had to bury him yesterday, and I was really in no fit state to do much of anything, so I apologize, and I do apologize for my appearance this morning. As you can tell, I'm trying to get this done before we have to take our daughter to school, and I have to go to the office, and so I have no makeup on, and I do apologize. The topic this week was numerology, and I'm sure that the other co-hosts covered it very, very carefully, so I just want to share a little bit about basic numerology, where I learned it and so forth. And if you are not familiar with Buckland's Big Blue, he has a really good numerological chart in there. Numerology is basically a breaking down of each thing into an assigned number. Each letter has a number. It's how I figured my my witchy name, my craft name. I definitely used numerology to be sure that the name was one that was compatible with me. How do you figure out your birth, your number, your personal number? It's very, very easy. A lot of people think numerology is something very difficult and mystic, and I suppose it is mystic in a way, but it's not very difficult to learn. The chart that I just showed, if you want a copy of that, send me a message and I can email you a copy, but there's books on numerology, there's charts on numerology, you can probably find it on the internet. But each number, each letter of the alphabet corresponds to a number 1 through 9. What you do is you want to get down to a single digit number. So for example, if you're trying to figure out your birth year, which your birth number, use mine as an example, although I don't really want to tell you all how old I am. My birth date is July 21st, 1973. So July is 7, plus 2, plus 1, plus 1, plus 9, plus 7, plus 3. So it starts out looking like that. And basically you add all of those numbers up. Okay. And what you do, and I'm not a math person, so bear with me here whilst I figure this out. Yeah, it's been that kind of a morning, that kind of a weekend. Okay, so 7 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 3 is 30. Okay, so what you do then is you would, if you come up with a 2-digit number like that, for example, say it was 35, then what you would do is you would add up 3 plus 5. In this case, it's 3 plus 0, so my number is 3. Now, you can do that with your actual name as well. If you didn't want to pick a craft name, but you wanted to see if your name was numerologically in line with you, what you would do is you would use the chart like what I showed you, and you would assign one number to each letter of your name, and you would go through the same process. Now, how would you use this, or why would you use this? Well, numerology can be used in a lot of different ways. It can be used to determine whether a specific job is good for you. If you've been offered a job, you can take either the position name and or the company name and figure out the numerological number for that and see if it's compatible with your number. You can figure out if a city, if you have a choice of going to 2 cities and you want to know which is going to be the better choice, or if you're getting married and you want to see if your numerological date is one that is compatible with maybe the combination of your numerological number and that of your future spouse. You can do that by adding up your numerological numbers and coming up with a single digit and then determining whether that date corresponds with those digits. You can see if your spouse has the same number as you, if you're numerologically compatible. So there are a lot of uses for numerology. A lot of people like to use numerology because you can take that number and use it in a sigil. Excuse me. So for example, if you were wanting to use numerology in a spell, maybe for healing for somebody or something like that, you would create a sigil for that purpose, and you could incorporate that person's magical number or numerological number, and maybe even yours, into that spell, maybe into that sigil, and inscribe it on something like a candle, or something that you're doing. Also for banishing spells, I have found that using numerology is very useful. If you know the name of the person, even just their first name, if you can create a sigil with the numerological number of their first name and use that as part of your banishing spell, it's actually quite useful. A lot of people use numerology, I think, in astrology as well. Now, I did not do a video on astrology. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know as much about it as I should. That is an area of the craft that I'm still learning. I have a basic concept, but I'm not in depth. I can't do natal charts and that kind of thing. I'm very impressed with people that can, because to me that's a very complicated process. So I'm really impressed with that, and it's something that I would like to learn more about. But I do know that numerology goes hand in hand with astrology in some cases. A lot of people use them together to determine different aspects of their magical practice, what they're going to do at certain times and that sort of thing. I know that this hasn't been a terribly long video, and I do apologize under the circumstances, but I know that I hadn't done videos very much through the month of December, and I wanted to at least give a little bit of my perspective on numerology and kind of what I use it for. Like I said, I incorporated it into sigils. I used it for creating my magical name and seeing, and actually my birth name, surprisingly, corresponds to my magical number. My parents actually got that right. But you can also use it to inscribe into things of a personal nature to you, like your tools and that sort of thing. Like I said, I incorporate it into sigils for different spells on different occasions, and I find it to be very useful. I hope that you all have a great week, and again, I apologize. And for those of you that watch my personal channel, I will try to have a personal video up this week as well. You'll have to bear with me. There have been some big changes going on with my company. We're experiencing a large amount of growth all of a sudden, and it's got me kind of busy. But I will do what I can to get that video out on the Book of Shadows. Thanks a bunch, and I hope you'll have a great day.